Hi, I'm Dr. Morgan Riggins. I'm a physical therapist at Opal Movement Therapy. Today we're going to talk about what to do if you have an ankle sprain. Did you know that in the US, 23,000 people report ankle sprains each and every day? That's crazy, 23,000, and that's just the people who actually went and sought treatment, hence why they have the data on them. Raise your hand, have you ever rolled your ankle and not told anyone about it? Most of us have. A lot of us have sprained our ankles before, and we know that with like a little rest, maybe we put our feet up, maybe a little ice, compression, it typically starts to feel better in a couple of days, a week or two, and we move on, and just move about our day. However, with an ankle sprain, there are a couple of changes in the tissues that if we don't address them after the ankle sprain, we're more at risk for a future ankle sprain. And the more often we sprain our ankle, the more risk we are for a more serious injury and a more chronic problem. When you sprain your ankle, most often we roll the ankle in, and that's because there basically isn't a bony block to roll it in, whereas our outer ankle bone drops down lower and it can prevent the ankle from rolling out as much. So more often than not, when we sprain our ankle, it's an inversion sprain. You can still have a medial ankle sprain and go this way, but it's just much less common. So we're going to talk about what's most common. With the inversion ankle sprain, where it rolls in, we get a big stretch on the ligaments on the outer part of the ankle. And so those are the ligaments that will have a big tension moment. And it can just cause them to stretch really quickly. Sometimes there can be a partial tear or a full tear. And then the degree of pain, swelling, and difficulty walking will correlate to that area. After you roll your ankle, the biggest thing we want to think about is, can you walk on it? Because with an ankle sprain, we also can be at risk for bony involvement or a fracture. If you can weight bear your first 4 steps, so if you can walk 4 steps after the injury, it decreases the likelihood that you have a fracture, right? It's not all inclusive, but one of the things we look at when you come into the clinic after an ankle sprain is we ask you, were you able to walk on it? Usually not a fracture when it's just an ankle sprain, but we always want to rule that out. If you can't walk the first 4 steps, you need to go get it checked out because we want to make sure that we're not missing a fracture. If you can walk on it and you feel like, okay, this is pretty good, I don't think I need to go get this looked at, we want you to still take some steps to help the tissues, because not only does the sprain really put stress on those ligaments to the point where there can be a little bit of damage to them, it also puts a huge amount of torque on the ankle joint, and the joint itself can get stiff. Once the pain and the swelling and things improve, the stiffness may still remain, and that's what can put you at risk for a future problem. Ankle mobility is also really important for things up the chain like the knee and the hip. So even if you're not worried about having another ankle sprain, we want to make sure the ankle's moving because it helps us when we walk, run, squat, etc. In addition to the joint and the ligaments being impacted, our receptors that are responsible for helping us balance get impacted. So when there's swelling in that area and that quick torsional force of the sprain, it disrupts how well the receptors in our ankle communicate up to our brain about where our foot is in space. So it impairs our balance and our proprioception. Proprioception is really just how our body can tell where our foot is and how our brain can take information, whether we're walking on solid ground, gravel, uneven terrain, etc. And think about it. Sometimes when we sprain our ankle, we might be on uneven terrain, or we misstep, or it's dark, we don't see, we lose our balance. And after the injury, the balance and proprioception is even more impaired. And so it's super important that we retrain that. And that is really an area of opportunity that most of us don't take advantage of. We just wait till pain goes away and then we move on and forget about it. So today we're going to go over what are a couple of things you can do right after an ankle sprain to help with the ligament involvement, with the joint, with the proprioception, and just to kind of like do your due diligence to get back to pre-ankle sprain levels so that you can prevent future problems. First of all, this is a video kind of catering to the masses, and so some of this may or may not apply to you, but the first thing right out the gate is like, okay, we had the ankle sprain, I can walk, but it's painful, it's uncomfortable, you're likely going to have to adjust some of your activities, and we do want to consider swelling and how to manage pain and swelling. And so in that acute stage, ice can be helpful. We recommend 10 to 15 minutes of ice and then a period without it. That can be helpful just to reduce that initial inflammation. And then we also want to have some positions and movements that help with swelling. And so a couple of exercises we really love right out the gate are going to involve being on the floor. And the first one, you'll be on your back. And so in this position, I can hold my leg, and then nice and easy, I'm just gonna bend and straighten the leg. And what's happening here is I'm getting gravity to help pull some of that fluid that might be pooling in the ankle down back into my lymphatic and cardiovascular system. And I'm also getting some nerve mobility. So we mentioned the joint, we mentioned the ligaments, we mentioned proprioception and balance. But we also have nerves that come down our leg and then they branch to the ankle and the foot. When we roll our ankle, there's a quick stretch on the nerves too. And so sometimes that can be contributors to the pain. And so we can do these very gentle nerve glides, and that can also help with symptoms. With nerve glides, notice I'm not holding it. I'm making this more of like a stretch and then relax, stretch and then relax. And then if it feels okay, you can do a little bit of toes towards you. The biggest thing is when we roll our ankle in, it's the ligaments on the outer part that can be affected. So we don't want to reproduce pain there. So for example, like if I do an ankle movement and it increases that in the first couple of days post-injury, we want to keep that area feeling good. And so you could just modify. But this is great because I get the nerves moving and gravity helps pull some of that fluid and swelling out of the ankle. You can still do both sides because our nervous system is connected left and right. And so even getting your other side moving better can help the affected side feel better. The other one we really like is to turn on some muscles higher up the chain. And so in this position, I can put my heels on a bench or a chair, and then I can do hamstring bridges. And this is going to help bring some blood flow to my legs. It's going to help me not decondition or lose strength up higher, because after an ankle sprain, you might have to modify your normal workout routine and you still need to get some muscle work in. And it can actually be helpful for healing to bring some oxygen and blood flow to the area. And last but not least, with my feet elevated, this also promotes decreasing that swelling. So I can put my feet on here, I dig the heels down and I lift up. And so this can be really helpful just to help maintain fitness and to reduce swelling. So we've got two. We've got the sciatic nerve glides, and then we've got hamstring bridges. Those are very helpful to help with swelling, pain, and just tissue healing. Now we need to talk about the joint, right? So we talked about how when we roll our ankle, there's a quick force on the joint. Sometimes the joint can be stiff and it can be a driver of pain. So we want a way to mobilize the joint. So you can be kneeling like so, and the joint we want to mobilize is going to be the talocrural joint first. That's where our shin meets our ankle bone. The ligaments on the sides of the ankle are what are impacted with a sprain. The talocrural joint does dorsiflexion. So it's when our shin moves over our foot. So it shouldn't impact those ligaments. And if we get it moving better, it actually takes tension off the ligaments that can be involved in an inversion sprain. So this is one where we want to incorporate it, but we do want to make sure it's comfortable. So if in the first day or two it's not comfortable, you might just wait and add this in when it's more comfortable. You're going to take your thumbs and stack them over each other, and you're going to place them in the front of the ankle. And you can see it's kind of right where the shin meets the ankle bone. There's usually like a little soft squishy part. You can feel like a little divot, maybe a ligament, a tendon in there. You can place your fingers here. And then I'm going to place with some good pressure, and then I'm going to gently lean my shin forward. I'm just going forward, so it's not moving the ankle left or right, so it shouldn't be painful over those ligaments on the side. And I'll show you from the side view. But what we're looking for is to put a little pressure here so that that ankle bone stays still as the shin comes forward. If this reproduces your pain on the side of the ankle, then just skip it for now. But especially as things start feeling better, this is a really important one to make sure it's moving well. My right ankle, I actually sprained it really bad several years ago, and I still have to work hard on the mobility. My left side, you'll be able to see it goes much further than my right. And part of that is because I didn't do anything after that ankle sprain. So I wish that I had had this video a couple years ago because I would have done some of the exercises. So we've got ankle joint mobility. As far as how many, we just want enough reps to loosen it up compared to the other side. So maybe you do 10, rocking back and forth, and compare sides, okay? Now, last but not least, we need to turn on some muscles to support the area of the injury, so closer to the ankle and the foot, and we need to start working on that balance and proprioception. So in order to support that area while it heals, we want to make sure that our muscles in our foot and our calf are ready so that they can take the stress of standing and walking, and those ligaments that may have been impacted in the sprain can just heal. So I have a pillowcase. You're going to want to do this on like a smooth floor, like tile or hardwood. We're going to do towel curls. So what this is going to look like, my foot is going to be here. My heel is on the ground. My feet are on, my foot is on the pillowcase. I'm going to try to curl my toes to grab the towel. And so my heel stays on the ground, and you can see little baby motions here. I am basically trying to palm the floor. Now I don't want to just move my toes. I want to basically palm the floor and make a fist with my whole foot so I can kind of see my knuckles of my foot rounding. Now this should be pretty comfortable because I'm not moving my ankle side to side, so it shouldn't really impact my symptoms. If this were painful on the area involved in the sprain, then just skip it for now. It might be something that you have to add in when it's more comfortable. If you're not sure, just try it with your other side to kind of get like an idea of how it feels and then go from there. But it's really important that we turn on some of those muscles and wake them up. Now, last but not least, we need to work on the balance and the proprioception. So in standing, right, if it is tolerable to stand, it's not increasing that pain, then we want to start to work on some balance and proprioception. My favorite one is going to be a single leg balance drill with some arm movements. So I'm going to start on my side that was not impacted by the injury. I'm going to balance on my left, and I can start with my right foot back as a little kickstand, and I'm going to do 5 bicep curls, 5 overhead press, and then I'm going to bend at the waist, and I'm going to extend my arms back behind me to do a tricep kickback. If that went well, I could float my other foot, and this is my non-injured side, so I should be able to do it. On the injured side, now that you have an idea of what it's supposed to feel like, you're going to see if you can move to the kickstand. Now, if this is painful on that area, you could even try a flat foot, so it's more of a tandem stance. I have even weight between both feet, and I can do my curls, my presses, and my kickbacks. But if that's going okay, see if you can lift your back heel, and now I have my weight on the affected side, more weights on that side, my left side's there for support, and then I'm doing curls, overhead press, bending at the waist, this is the hardest one, and the kickback. I can add light weights to this, but a lot of times right after the injury, it's so challenging to stabilize that you don't need to add weight. If you want to, start with like 3 to 5 pounds, nothing crazy. The goal is to work up to doing this on one foot. If it's not painful with the kickstand, you can try it, but we want to keep it pain-free, and you will feel everything working to stabilize it. I recommend doing 5 reps of each arm movement and doing 2 to 3 sets. There's a learning curve with balance. Your foot is giving information to your spinal cord and up to your brain, so every round it's going to get a little bit better, and it's going to feel the hardest right after the injury, and then with practice it's going to get better, and that's that whole retraining effect. So let's recap real quick. All right, we had an acute ankle sprain. We can walk. It's not so painful or bothersome that we're going to go seek treatment, but we want to prevent future problems and we want to accelerate healing. What are we going to do? 1, we're going to ice a little bit to help with inflammation in the acute stages, like week 1 and 2, as needed, right? Number 2, we want to help have some exercises that promote reducing swelling. So we have the nerve glides on our back. We have feet elevated hamstring bridges. Number 3, we want to help restore movement in the joints. We have our kneeling ankle dorsiflexion self-mobilization. So towel curls to turn on the muscles in our foot so that we're more prepared for single leg balance drills in standing. Okay? So you have 5 things that you can do, and I recommend starting with just one round of all of those each day. You could do a second round later in the day if it feels good. And that's just gonna help accelerate healing and get things going. If you have more questions, please let us know, drop a comment. If you liked this video, please hit subscribe on our channel. You can hit the bell icon so you get notifications. We post on YouTube every week, and we also post a lot on Instagram and Facebook every day. And we love to help, so let us know if you have questions and we'll answer them.